Bonnie here, ER doctor turned marriage coach. I hope that you had a fabulous weekend. I really enjoyed our time yesterday. We actually were able to have some family time. We took a Sabbath. We did not do any work, and we were able to go to the park with the boys and get lost on a trail that we thought was for pedestrians and was actually for mountain bikes, and we came out in the wrong place, but it was fun, and we were making memories. So how awesome. Hey, listen, I want to chat this morning about a concept that I've come across that I think is so impactful in the world in which we live. This quote is from Epicurus. He's one of the Greek Stoic philosophers. And he said, "Nothing is ever enough for the man for whom enough is too little." So let's digest that a little bit, because that's deep. Nothing is ever enough for you and me when we view enough as inadequate. And so to me, I think that that's really a statement of our heart. I mean, it's sort of a critique of our heart. Like, where are we in the span of life? Because I've known people, you've known people, maybe you're one of them, because I know that I was. Maybe you're one of those people who you never have enough. Like, you have to continue to acquire and pursue. And if you're in a relationship, you're unhappy in that relationship, so you go get a new relationship, and then eventually you're unhappy with that one. I've been there. I also find that, when it comes to our homes or our cars or whatever, like, we continue to just pursue and acquire. And I love capitalism. I really do. I love that people can go out and earn and kill it and get stuff that they like. But I think we got to look at our hearts, because I think all of this permeates into our relationships as well. It's very easy for us to become so focused on me, myself, my happiness. It's all about what I want, that we can lose our way. And so I want you to reflect on this week. Get out a journal, like, write down some stuff, and just think about, like, where's your heart in all of this? Because I'll tell you, like, I've gone through this really intense spiritual growth, this transformation over the past 4 years since the atomic bomb went off in our relationship. And we've just been trying to know more about life and truth, and really, like, what God wants for us. And I'll tell you, it's crazy, because I still want to go pursue, I still want to achieve, but it's not from a place of discontentment. And you see, I do relationship coaching, and so I work with couples, and I get to see, like, where their hearts are. And I know that so often we get really tied into this idea of me and my happiness. And it's crazy, because once we kind of disconnect from that, once we disconnect from this idea that my life is all about me and my world is all about the pursuit of what gratifies me, then we're actually free, because you don't realize it. But when you're one of those people that Epicurus is talking about, that nothing is ever enough, you're kind of a slave. You're in bondage to that need to grow, that need to acquire more. And that can trickle into our relationships and into our marriages. And so what we can find is, like, ours is never enough, because we want more, we want better, we want him or her to change to accommodate us. And sometimes the growth really happens when we stop focusing on that, and we start thinking about, how can I show up well for this person? How can I serve my wife better? And then I'm not focusing on me, because I'm telling you guys, my life, the less it's about me, the better it keeps getting. And so I just want to share that little bit of wisdom with you. This goes all the way back to, like, I don't know, 2,000 or 3,000 years ago, when these Greek Stoic philosophers were, like, putting pen to paper or chiseling in the rocks, whatever they did. And I think that we all have to examine our hearts, and it's a continual thing. Like, we never get this. I still have to avoid falling into that trap, where in any given moment I can make life about me, and I'm kind of just oppressing Megan and trying to make her conform to my ideas and what I want. And really, what I need to do is just take my foot off the gas a little bit and be thankful for the place that we're in. When you can do that, when you can really have gratitude, when you can focus on the good qualities in your spouse, when you can focus on the good things that are going on around. Yes, there's things that need to change. There's things that need to change in your relationship and in my relationship. But mostly when I look at that, I try to see how I need to change. not how other people need to change. And even when it comes to life, right? We all want a bigger house, a nicer car. But when that stops becoming our focus, now we can grow and develop and find ways to serve our community where we're creating value. And our focus isn't on that end result, isn't on the byproduct of that. It's on the effort itself. And yeah, eventually, if you help enough people, you get enough what Rabbi Daniel Labin calls certificates of appreciation in your bank account, right? Dollar bills. And you can upgrade in your car or your house if you still want to do that. But guys, focus on what's going on in your heart. I just really want to encourage you to think about that this week. Because what I believe is if you start looking for your spouse's strengths and the good characteristics that he or she has, your heart starts changing. You start becoming less discontent. Megan and I were working with a couple recently, and they've been through some hard stuff. And now they're in this place where they are looking. They're looking for the positives, and they're growing and building, and they're each working on themselves. That's the key. You see, when Jesus came to the world, he kind of turned the world upside down, right? The first are last, and the last are first. And he promoted this idea of servant leadership. And so when we stop focusing on making sure that I'm getting mine out of life, got to get mine, got to cut out my piece of the pie because no one else is going to do it. When that stops being our focus, everything changes, everything gets better. And what's crazy is I find that I still end up getting what my heart wants. Now, maybe what my heart wants changes some. I mean, when I was in high school, I was going to be a cardiothoracic surgeon so that I could drive a Lamborghini. Right? That would still be fun. That's not my pursuit. I mean, if it happens eventually, then that's awesome. Yes, Jessica, servant leadership. That's what life is about. If you go read the book by David Brooks, Second Mountain, that's what he's talking about. Like when we're on the first mountain, it's all about me, myself. You know, I think of like just the personification of these celebrities and athletes, right? It's like me, look what I did. And David Brooks talks about how true happiness comes when we're on that second mountain and we're learning to serve other people. Now, if you do that in your community, if you do that in your business, whether you're an employee or a business owner, if you do that in your marriage, it will be transformative. I promise you, these principles work. Listen, guys, click the share button. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. Or if you're not on YouTube, come over to YouTube and subscribe. Check out our podcast on Apple and Spotify, Debon Ignite Your Marriage, and invite your friends to join along because people need to hear this stuff, man. Marriages are suffering. And we just want to try to bring value to them and show them that there is a better way. There's some principles that we can all implement that will allow us to just kill it on multiple fronts. I love you guys. Let's have a good week. It's Monday. Let's go.